Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you are watching around the world, we are back on the ground in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The last crescendo, Artur Beterbiev, Dmitry Bivol, do it all again on Saturday night in a bid in the rematch for undisputed light heavyweight supremacy. This is the grand arrival, so we thought, what better way to introduce you to Fight Week here in Riyadh than be...
We're good, Governor.
We're good, thank you, Governor. Onwards, then make the grandest arrival we could possibly think of, and that is in the back of a golf buggy with promoter Eddie Hearn. Eddie, there's 7 fights on this card that could easily headline any show. You described it as being a bit of a joke, really, that they're all on one card, that the pay-per-view is one price. It is ridiculous, isn't it, really?
Because you don't need all these fights on one card. But luckily, for the fan and for the pay-per-view subscriber, you've got them. And every fight on this card is a headline fight with its respective broadcast, the respective network, in its respective market. There isn't a fight on this card that wouldn't fill an arena in the country that the fight's from. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you're kicking off with Kabayel against Zhang or Boatsy against Smith. Ortiz against Madrimov is an unbelievable fight. Shakur against Floyd, Schofield is bubbling up nicely. Hamza against Adames, I cannot wait for. The world heavyweight title, Dubois Parker, and then the big one, Undisputed, Bivol Beterbiev. It's if you're a fight fan, you're about to witness one of the greatest nights for our sport. And if you've not watched boxing before, you're about to fall in love with the sport. And it's a shame that you're finding boxing on Saturday night, because I'm not sure you're ever going to see anything like this again.
The first fight was captivating. 36 minutes, it was immense from start to finish. How confident are you? You thought he won the first fight, but how confident are you that your man can win this fight on Saturday?
It's a very dangerous fight. It's a 50-50 fight, just like it was the first time around. I've watched it back. For me, I don't change my mind. Dmitry Bivol won that fight. I believe on Saturday night he'll get what he deserves, but he's got to put in another great performance, because Beterbiev is a monster. He's a tremendous fighter. They both are. And I can't wait to watch it all unfold.
What is your pick of the undercard as a fan?
I mean, for me, obviously Smith and Boatsy, from a domestic standpoint, I think is a great fight. I think Ortiz against Madrimov, really, a hardcore fight fans fight. The one that isn't, we're not involved with, Hamza Shiraz against Adames. I'm really funking for Hamza. I think he's a tremendous fighter and a great guy. I've got to tell you, I think he's a big underdog in that fight. Adames is a serious fighter. Not a lot of people have heard of him. If Hamza can win that fight, he's going to become a massive star. So, on it, not one fight on the card I'm not absolutely intrigued by. I can't wait to see it unfold.
Would you rather arrive by helicopter or golf cart?
On the tube, mate, or on the bus. I don't mean.
Humble.
You know me, humble.
Thank you, Eddie. Well, there you go. What a great way to start on the ground. Now, this is the grand arrivals. I just want to give you a little bit of a tour. We're getting shepherded by security. Okay, we're going to move this way. So, we're back here in Boulevard World, and as you can see just over there, there's no half measures on these shows here in Riyadh. The grand arrivals are the curtain raiser, the introductory event. The fighters walk in, they walk down the red carpet, they have a little chat with Chris Mannix, or sometimes me, when they've obviously run out of people to use. Sometimes I get the call up, occasionally, sadly didn't this time. But this is, as I say, the curtain raiser of Fight Week, and the aim of On The Ground is to bring you closer to the action. We're here in Riyadh, we're fortunate enough to be here. We understand that some people would love to be here, but it's a long way to come. It's Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, but the aim of this is to walk around to try and get some opinions of people that we can, to try and bring you closer to the action, as I say. Well, let's try and find our way into this section. Oh, let's go this way, producer Luke. Just going to flash my accreditation, and let's go here into the main bit of the complex where they are doing the grand arrivals. As you can see, there is promoter Eddie Hearn,
it will be a battle.
MC Thomas Schreiber. I mean, Eddie was right what he said, that every single fight on this main card could, without a doubt, in my opinion, headline a show. The fact that Joshua Boatsy versus Callum Smith, what a fight that is, an all-British showdown in the light heavyweight division, is on maybe first. I mean, it's mental, isn't it? Really, I saw someone on Twitter was like, no toilet breaks when you're watching this card on Saturday, and that is 100% the case. We are going to be doing 3 episodes of On The Ground this week. We're doing it today, of course, at the ground arrivals. We're going to be doing it on Friday at the weigh-in, and we're also going to be doing it on fight night as well, of course. This one might be a bit shorter because it is quite loud in here, but that doesn't matter, does it? Look at this. I mean, I don't know where we are now. Is this the Bellagio, is it? Let's see who we can find. Team Shiraz in the house. Shakur Stevenson right now being welcomed onto the stage. Massive fight for him, defending his WBC World Lightweight crown. What a division that is right now as well. Well, let's see who we can see floating around. As I say, apologies if I don't spot everyone. but we've got a few people here we'd like to speak to. Robert, can we grab you for a quick word? Can we grab you for a quick word? Yeah. How are you? Listen, what a card this is, and you've got some big fights as well. Your man, Virgil Ortiz. What do you like about this fight for him against Matchroom?
Look, the whole card is going to be, the whole card is main events themselves, you know, but, you know, we're here to do our work. We know we have a great fighter in front of us. It's going to be a great fight. Probably the fight that steals the night.
How much can you take from Matchroom's fight with Crawford? How much is that a fight you've studied?
Well, totally different styles, you know, and styles make fights, so it's a totally different fight. You know, it's not even a fight that we've been studying because the styles are totally different, but we just know we're ready for a great fight, to put up a great event.
And in terms of yourself, Trainer of the Year, was that a nice feeling for you?
Oh, it's great, you know, but, you know, like I've always said, you know, it's not just me, it's my whole team, you know. It's a team that I have, and with everybody involved, you know, I wouldn't do it if it wasn't for the team that I have.
Top man. Robert Garcia in the house. Well, let's see who we can find floating around here. And as you can see behind us, there is Shakur Stevenson on the stage with Chris Mannix. We're getting told off here already, but that doesn't matter. And it was interesting what Robert was saying there. Obviously, very different styles with Terence Crawford, but this is still a tremendous fight in the career of Virgil Ortiz. Is he the real deal? We'll find out how good he is on Saturday night. Mr. Frank Smith, also in town. Frank,
how are you?
I'm not doing that again. I mean, the impressions need to be parked, to be honest. But Frank, a big show, but also a big night for the Matchroom fighters on the card as well. In terms of that, obviously Shakur Stevenson's just jumped off the stage. Dmitry Bivol in the main event. He's a good friend of yours, isn't he?
Yeah, massive night. You know what? Look at the fights. Israel Madrimov against Virgil Ortiz as well. Probably one of the fights of the night. Shakur Stevenson, first fight with Matchroom. Excited for him to get out there. Dmitry Bivol's going to go out there and become undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world. He should have been the first time round. He gets his opportunity again. And then Callum Smith, interim world title, and he wants the winner of Boulevard World. So what a night it's going to be. Can't wait for it.
What's Dmitry like to work with?
A legend. You know, look, you've seen him. He's serious about his business. He wants to go in there and do a job. You know, we've had some of the best nights with him, and I think on Saturday will be another one of those.
Okay.
Cheers. Thanks very much.
Do you ever get starstruck at these events, no?
Just seeing you, really.
Oh, I don't blame him. Don't blame him, to be fair. Let's keep moving our way through here. It is very crowded in here. Sorry, mate. Let's see if I can find any fighters that I want to try and get a chance to speak to. I found someone who's a very familiar face who, to be honest, he's my safety net, is this man. And what a safety net to have. Mr. Steve Bunce, looking serious. Kendrick Lamar playing in the background. Suits you, this, Steve?
Doing a bit of Big Bang. I've been hanging around Big Bang too much, and what Big Bang does really well is fold his arms, pull his shoulders up and just look. Doesn't have to say very much.
Quite intimidating, huh?
Yeah, listen, no, not me. Big Bang's quite intimidating, yeah.
Right.
But I can't help but feel with Big Bang, Jamie, I don't know about you, but there's a soft side somewhere. I have a feeling, literally, the closer he gets to his door when he goes home, right, it's almost like he drops off all the nastiness, all the anger, all the looks, all the stares. By the time he walks through the door, his 7 kids jump on him and he's on the floor and they're rolling all over him. That's the impression I get with Big Bang.
What is your pick, Steve? Aside from Big Bang, what is your big pick? What's the fight that you've got the most questions about on Saturday night?
The fight I've got the most questions about? Well, I'll try and do something that maybe the others haven't done. Shiraz and Adames. I keep thinking it's a fight too soon. Then I keep thinking, no, it's perfectly timed. Then I keep thinking Adames is maybe the weak link in the division. Then I see something else that makes me think, no, he's the man no one wants to talk about in the division. And I particularly like the fight. It's a real test for Hamza Shiraz because I still look at him like he's 21, 22. And he seemed to be 21 or 22 forever and a day, as far as I'm concerned. And I think it's a really good test. And I think Adames is a much better fighter than we were probably giving him credit for 6 weeks ago when the fight was announced. I think we've realised during this week here, from talking to him and maybe then going back and watching a few more of his fights in our rooms, that he's a really good fighter. So hey, listen, how'd you pick one over the other? I'm being honest.
Well, what about this man? If you just pan around, producer Luke, Joseph Parker, and I will just say, after Joseph Parker was beaten by Joe Joyce, he was stopped against Joe Joyce, and I think some might have looked at him that night and thought, I'm not sure how Joe Joyce can work his way back to the top level, but you look at the run he's been on, what a nice guy as well. But this fight with Dubois, obviously what a year he's had, coming off the monumental victory against Anthony Joshua at Wembley, Joe Parker coming off big wins, Deontay Wilder, Big Bang, your mate as well. Big Bang. This is a fight surely you got questions about as well.
This might be my favourite fight on the bill for many ways. Daniel's an enigma, let's get it right. And you talk about we weren't sure what Joe Parker was going to do after that 11th round stoppage to Joe Joyce. What did we possibly think Dubois was going to do when he backed away, looked over there and took a knee in that fight with Joe Joyce? No chance at that point did you have him here in a fight like this, coming off the back of 96,000 at Wembley and dropping Joshua, 4 times. Get those two things, you would have been called a crazed fantasist. If you'd have gone for a palm reading, right, or in Atlantic City to someone looking at a crystal ball for $10, and she'd have looked at you and said, Jamie, this is what will happen. Daniel Dubois will knock out Anthony Joshua in front of 96,000 people, and then he will fight Joe Parker.
I feel mesmerised right now.
No, you'd ask for your $10 back, wouldn't you? Say, sorry, darling.
Well, I wouldn't now, because I'd be like, bloody hell, she's good. She got it all right.
No, if that had actually happened, you'd be back there searching for her. Say, listen, any idea who's going to do well? Cheltenham Gold Cup. Get a few tips.
Great to be back in Saudi. Mr. Steve Bunce, listen, always a pleasure to catch up. I'm going to catch up with you later this week.
You can, you know
Do you know who's up here? Can you look up? Ade's up there. Let's see if we can get him. The main man, Radio Raheem, in the house. How are you, sir? Nice to see you, mate. You all good? You all good?
Yes, lovely, always.
Another big fight card back here in Saudi Arabia. We're getting a little bit comfortable, I think, as fight fans, because these big cards just keep happening. But this has got to be the best one yet, surely.
We're getting spoiled, and I was just saying, I'm expecting this level. Every time His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh raises the level, it becomes the floor for me. So now, every single time I come to Saudi, I want to see the best card in boxing. And, you know, in a way I kid, but in reality, this is maybe the platinum era. If we had a golden era in the 70s and 80s, this is the platinum era of boxing. I cannot go a week without talking about an incredible fight that either just happened or is about to happen. We are spoiled, and I'm loving it.
How lucky are we? How lucky are we? Radio Raheem in the house. There's the boys up there. They're on DAZN. They cannot speak to me right now. Daniel Dubois makes his way to the stage. Now listen, I did say this episode might be shorter, and it probably will be, but let's try and give you a good view of Dubois down here if we can. I think we're going to struggle, which, listen, as I say, isn't a bad thing. As I say at the start, this is the curtain raiser of Fight Week, and this is also the curtain raiser for On The Ground, because later on in the week, everything's a lot more accessible. We can move around. It isn't this regimented, and we'll have much more freedom, particularly at the weigh-in, to cause some absolute chaos. I'm not going to hunt around too much today. I'm going to end it there, because listen, this is the start of a very, very special week. So many great fights to look forward to. We're going to hopefully be joined by Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol later on as the week goes on. That was On The Ground, a little teaser for episode 1. Stay tuned throughout the whole week. We've got so much to look forward to, and we're going to take you with us every single step of the way.